Well, hello everyone. As you can see, we have a very big topic to discuss today, and that topic is, should you pursue a degree in music production? I'm going to go ahead and give you a list of 7 reasons why I think you just might want to pursue that degree, as well as a few things to consider before making that life choice. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So before we get started, just a few things. First of all, why am I making this video? Well, it's because I have this conversation with students and their parents nearly every week at the university at which I teach, and I thought it might be a useful resource going forward for those who are considering making this life choice. You should know that I am a professor at a university who coordinates and teaches in a music production program, albeit we teach a fair amount beyond music production, which I'm going to talk about briefly near the end of this video. So everything you're hearing is coming from that perspective. I'm also primarily talking about something like a 4-year bachelor's degree, not as much like a 2-year associate's degree that you might get at something like a community college, but a lot of the advice might still apply. Who is this video for? It's geared primarily towards high schoolers who are finishing up high school and are already considering getting a degree in music production, but it's also geared towards people who might be considering transferring from one school to another or switching degrees within their school, or people who are considering going back for a degree later in life. Some advice is geared specifically towards those high school age students, but for the most part, this will apply to you if you are considering getting a degree in music production at any stage of your life. I will also say this video might be useful if you are already getting a degree in music production or recently earned one and want to feel better about your life choices, or if you want to make your parents feel better about your life choices. Lastly, what do I mean by music production? Well, obviously the production and creation of music, but that can take many forms. So it could be creating music on your own in a home studio, could be recording engineering, audio editing, mixing, mastering, live sound reinforcement, and a few other related fields. I'm using it as sort of a broad umbrella term, but please be aware that some degrees use that term to mean different things. So with those things in mind, here is the number 1 reason I think pursuing a degree in music production just might be the right idea for you. Number 1, guided curriculum. A guided curriculum that moves through a logical sequence of topics is a tremendously valuable asset. If you want to start learning on your own, it can be tremendously difficult to know where to start. Should I purchase a digital audio workstation? Which one should I purchase? Should I start recording live musicians? Should I focus on synthesizers? Should I focus on specific techniques and styles and genres? These are all very difficult questions to answer, but if you're pursuing a degree in music production, you simply get to follow along with a sequence that was carefully and thoughtfully put together, where you get to learn things in a logical order and in a way where topics from one class reinforce topics from another. Number 2, you are studying with experts in your field, or at least you should be if the degree is worth pursuing. You sadly can't trust the music production advice from everyone on YouTube, and yes, I am aware of the irony, but in most cases, a college professor or instructor will have had to have worked pretty hard and acquired a lot of knowledge to get to the point where they are teaching you this stuff in a classroom. So you are far more likely to get credible, factual information from them. I'm not saying there isn't plenty of great supplemental information to be found online, but this can be a great way to earn a solid foundation. Number 3, networking. You will meet professionals who visit. You're going to meet your professors and your instructors, and also, and perhaps most importantly, you're going to meet fellow classmates, people you want to collaborate and work with, people you might go into business with and partner with. And you're also going to see what these people are doing, and it's going to help push you to make your work better as well. The networking component of earning a college degree in music production and just about any other field is tremendously valuable and important. You won't be working in a vacuum. You will be working with other people from day one. Number 4, access to equipment. This includes studio spaces, hardware, software, etc. While it's more affordable than ever to purchase music production gear and software, you're still going to want to work with some of that really top-tier stuff to get that important hands-on experience. It's also difficult to know exactly what to purchase, so just working with the equipment that is provided for you can be really, really great, and then you can make an informed decision once you're done on what exactly it is that you want to purchase for yourself. Number 5, other musical classes and beyond. You're going to be able to study music theory and history and ear training, as well as other digital media arts like video production and animation. Those are closely related skill sets that are really, really useful, and it's becoming almost expected that you also know how to do those things as some sort of music producer or other closely related career field. So you can become a much more well-rounded individual by pursuing this degree and learning not just the things that you came there to study, but the things that are closely related. This is going to give you a huge edge over those who choose to go the completely independent route. Number 6, an environment for success. You are going to be surrounded by fellow students who are going to help push you to do better than you would on your own. You're also going to have to get good grades in your classes and complete projects with specific assignment details. It's going to force you to learn skills and master things that you otherwise might not have done on your own. And lastly, number 7, being on a college campus. Now, this might not apply to you depending on exactly where you are in your life, but if you are finishing up high school, being on a college campus can be a wonderful way to sort of gradually get out into the real world. It's all the real world, but we sort of have different gradients. It can be a really great way to grow personally, meet people, learn more about yourself, and discover what it is that you really want in life, and you might not get that if you jump right into the career field or right into trying to do this on your own. I'm really grateful for how I grew as an individual when I was on my college campus. I actually lived on campus for all 4 years of my undergraduate degree. Granted, I was working as a resident assistant in the dorm, so I got paid, which was really wonderful, and that did help me afford school, which is something you want to consider, but I would not trade those years of living on campus for anything. I met wonderful friends, I met wonderful people, I worked with my colleagues, I was right next to the School of Music all the time, so it was really, really useful for me, and I think that being on a college campus can be a wonderful way to grow as a human being and as a musician. So before we go, just some closing thoughts and advice. Only pursue a degree in music production if you are incredibly passionate about this. You have to consider the cost of tuition. You have to decide whether or not you need to take loans and whether you're going to be able to pay those back. You have to decide whether you're comfortable making a full-time living as a musician, because that can be really challenging, especially right when you get done with college. It's very unlikely that you'll land a full-time job in a recording studio right after graduation or some other similar related type job that's sort of the dream job. But if you work really hard, you can make a living off the skill set you earned while pursuing your music production degree. One of the reasons I really like the program that I teach in is that we do in fact teach those closely related skills that I was talking about before. So my students take classes on video production and animation and introduction to computer programming, and we also emphasize a wide array of audio production, including audio for video, sound design, and beyond. So when the students complete the degree in my program, they're not only prepared to work as music producers, they're prepared to do an awful lot of stuff in closely related fields. This helps them get jobs, helps them network, and helps them grow as an individual and afford the lifestyle that they want. It's important to have a broad skill set in digital media these days. In fact, it sort of feels required when you look at a lot of jobs and opportunities that are out there. If you're able to edit audio, it's kind of expected that you can edit video, because it is really similar to be able to do these things. The last thing I'll say, if you decide to pursue a degree in music production, you need to be ready to give your 100%, your all, from day one. It is not worth the time, money, and effort unless you are taking this very seriously. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please consider subscribing so that you can get more content like this in the future, and I thank you very much for watching.